words, words, lot of words. The absolute truth cannot be defined by words. So you just close your eyes and meditate, you will understand. So then Ravidas Prabhu asked him, huh? If you say words are useless in describing absolute truth, last 2 hours you have been speaking. Huh? Now what about all those words? Huh? That means your words are useless. Huh? Huh? So that also they had no answer. So one of his books he says, saved from being saved. He says that, I was saved from being saved by those people. In the name of saving me, they were actually drowning me in samsara. So therefore, Prabhupada's books are very enlightening. You can see. He says Krishna proved his godhood or supremacy right from childhood. You can see that. Go ahead.
Although the gopis approached him with a paramos feelings of love, the relationship between the gopis and Lord Krishna was worshipped even by Lord Chaitanya, who was a strict sannyasi and rigid follower of disciplinary regulations. To confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, the Isopanishad describes him as Shuddham, antiseptic, and Apapavidham, prophylactic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylactic refers to the power of his association. As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30 to 31, a devotee may appear to be sudurachara, not well behaved in the beginning, but he should be accepted as pure because he is on the right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord's association. The Lord is also apapa with them because sin cannot touch him. Even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful, such actions are all good because there is no question of his being affected by sin. Because in all circumstances he is Shuddham, most purified. He is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing power. If the sun, which is a material object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength of the all-powerful Lord.
Yeah. So here, Prabhupada is explaining the word sudurachara. You will see that when one is trying to become a Krishna's devotee, they may commit small and big mistakes over a period of time. Like when some devotees went to a house, some 3-4 devotees, they brought some fruits and they cut it in one plate. They kept it and told the devotees to eat it. There were many fruits, varieties of fruits, and they kept multiple spoons there. But devotees were not comfortable eating from the same plate. Then they brought a newspaper and then cut it into pieces, 4 pieces. Then they said, okay, take a newspaper. They were taking. And 3-4 years later, that family became initiated devotees. 4-5 years later, then they were so ashamed. Then when they called the devotees to the home, this time they served so amazingly, because now they were initiated devotees, very mature devotees. So then they were telling these devotees that we committed so many, foolish offenses to all of you. We made you eat in a paper like a donkey. We just gave a newspaper, just we cut and gave you for taking the fruits, and some of them are wet fruits like orange and everything. You had to take it in the paper and eat. Now we didn't know the standard of the devotees. So many times you find we may do things foolishly, which we may realize as the years go ahead. After some years, you look back, and then you understand it was a mistake. It was not proper. You may understand. These are some small silly mistakes we may commit. Like once a boy was telling that he was traveling in a car with one preacher. Actually, he went to ask some question to him, but he ended up giving a lecture to the preacher. He himself gave a lecture. Fully, he said, I think this, I think that, everything he spoke. But the preacher also was hearing. He said, at the end, the preacher said, wonderful, you have a full understanding, thank you. And he went away. So 3-4 years later, this preacher told that, this boy told the preacher that, then he joined the ashram full time. He went and told the preacher, Prabhuji, I had the audacity to preach to you and you were nodding and hearing. I am supposed to inquire from you. Instead of inquiring from you, I was making you hear me. So in this way, in bhakti, you will see we commit some mistakes unknowingly. Like our example, I'll tell you, is Rahugana. He chastised that Jadabharata who was lifting the palanquin. But as soon as Jadabharata opened his mouth, he quickly realized who he was. And what he did, he jumped off from the palanquin down and caught hold of his feet. And then he asked him, oh great soul, who are you? Why are you wandering in this world? And I made you lift my... It's like, imagine you are asking your guru to lift you on a palanquin. It's like that, isn't it? What a great offense I did. He cried and then he said the famous verse, Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajranat Rakshasolana Yamasya Dandat. And then he says, Shanke Vrisham Brahma Kulavamanat. He says that, I'm not afraid of the Trishul of Shiva. He says, I'm not afraid of the Varuna's nose. Varuna's nose and Yamas. stick, many things, like the different weapons he's saying. Even those things are very frightening to many jivas. But I'm not afraid. I'm ready to take the punishment, he's saying. But he says, I'm very afraid of Brahma Avakula Avamanat, to offend the devotee of the Lord. So in this way, he actually supplicated himself and he touched his feet and begged for forgiveness with great remorse. And he was forgiven also. So a devotee sometimes knowingly, unknowingly may commit mistakes. So later on, Rahugana thought, what a foolish thing I was. At the end of the pastime, after all this forest of mental enjoyment, everything is over. No? After that, that's one very beautiful verse I'll show you. This verse. Namo mahadbhyostu namah shishubhyo namo yuvabhyo nama avatubhyah ye brahmana gam avadutalingash charanti debhya shivamastu rajñam. So he's saying, I offer my namaskar to great personalities, Mahatma devotees. And Namo Shishubhyo, I offer my namaskar to children also, he's saying. Really? Great souls is understandable, but why children? Hey, don't ask me why. Sometimes they may be like wandering in the role of four Kumaras, or Prahalads, or Dhruva. They may look like children, but are they children? Oh, they are Mahatma devotees. And Namo Yuvabhyo is saying, I also offer to youthful personalities. Why? There may be some young personalities like Lord Kapila. We don't know who is who. Better I offer obeisance to boys also and children also, and also Mahatma devotees also. And Nama Avatubhya, if in case somebody appears like an Avaduta. Avaduta means you can't explain, he doesn't have any dress in his body. He's wandering like Shukadev Goswami or Rishabhadev or the 7th canto of the Brahman, 11th canto of the Brahman. Correct, no? If I see what I do, I offer them obeisance. I don't criticize anybody, he's saying, because I don't know who is who. Ye Brahmanagam Avadutalingas, these great personalities who wander on the surface of the globe, Charanti Debhya Shivamastu Rajñam. They are actually wandering to produce auspiciousness for the Rajakulam, for all the kings like me, foolish kings like me. Like, we kings often become passionate or driven by passion, and we may see faults here and there, and we may try to act foolishly. But we don't want to be cursed by the Brahmakulam, but we want to be blessed by the Brahmakulam, like that is playing. So I am saying here it shows that carefulness and attentiveness of the king after having heard the katha from Jadabharata has become very mature now. In this way, the same neophyte devotee, earlier he behaved like a neophyte, now he is behaving like a very mature personality, correct? No? So Apichet Sudarachara actually means one may show abominable behavior at one instance, and at another instance they may feel remorse and regret and repentance and behave in a proper way, correct? No? So the devotees of the Lord actually very soon will come to that realization. What is it? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, he says. Shashvat chantim nikachati. Kshipram means what? Quickly, very quickly they will come. He says it won't take much time. They will. If they do a mistake also, therefore one should not delight in pointing the faults of a fallen devotee. In case somebody became attracted to a woman and married, like recently when somebody got married, I was thinking about how to respect them. So 3-4 points I got. One of the points in my talk with my spiritual master. One point he was telling, she may belong to one caste, she may belong to another caste, but ultimately both parents have agreed. So it is done under the blessings of the parents. They have not run away. So you can respect that marriage. It's blessed by the superiors. Another reason you have to bless in one temple, there was one brahmachari in the temple. There was a Russian Mataji coming to the temple. And she used to come for services. Somehow they became attracted to each other, and there's a big talk going on in the community. Everybody talking. Finally, he married her. After marriage, there was a big hallagula, everybody shouting, how can a brahmachari marry a woman? And then they were told, actually, the brahmachari want to marry. He's not a sannyasi. Now, he has got married and settled. They said, no, how can he marry this lady? So there's a lot of criticism flying back and forth amongst the devotees. So later on, that Guruji was telling that at least he married her. He's ready to maintain her. Are you going to maintain her? He is ready to maintain her. He's giving her a house. He's giving her sarees, maintaining her. He is not having illicit connection with her. He's properly married. He is married with her. They're settling now. Now they're getting a child now. And both are continuing 16 rounds. And both are also blessed by the Guru. And both parents have now agreed that he is Indian and she is Russian. They have no problem. Do you have any problem? If they have no problem, why should you have a problem? Think about it. So in this way, you will see that devotees very quickly come to their senses eventually. And again, they want to be Krishna conscious. Correct, no? So one should know that one should not keep on holding on to the previous perceptions and keep criticizing. So if one continuously keeps criticizing, then what is the purpose of your criticism? You just want to see him die? Or you just want to see him give up devotion service and go away? What is wrong? So therefore Krishna says, Apichet Sudracharo. It may be considered durachar. But what he says? Bhajate emam ananya bhak. Sadhu reva samate. You should consider him sadhu. Who says that? Krishna says that. You should still consider him sadhu. One example I'll tell you. In those days, there was one proper disciple in New Vrindavan. So he was brahmachari. So at that time, there was a leader in New Vrindavan who told him and one more person, you both have to now decide whether you want to become sannyasi or you want to become grihastha. So he said, no, I don't want to become grihastha. Then become sannyasi. He said, no, I am also not yet ready for sannyasi. He said, no, you have to decide between the two. So then he thought, what I should go for? Sannyasi. And he took sannyasi. But then after 2-3 years of sannyasi, he had to go for fundraising. He would go out. So once, so this person who took sannyasi was a very heroic type of personality, in dancing, singing. And he would come to Bombay and Pune, Atlanta used to come. Very jolly personality. So when he went for one such collection, one lady saw him and became fascinated. Very rich lady, wanted to marry him and started connected romantically. So he slipped from his position, wanted to marry her. So when we were in Bombay at that time, people used to consider him like a hero. But now after they heard about his moving out of ashram and marrying, everybody was like, what do you say? He considered it abominable or whatever. But later on, when Pune Yatra came, 1 or 2 months before Pune Yatra, one letter came to all the ashram devotees. And that letter was by him. He said, all of you dear devotees of Bombay, you may not have heard the news about me. I moved out of the temple and I got married and settled now. I know that many of you may be terribly upset with me and you may even not want to see my face. But what can I do? This is my conditioning situation. I didn't want to take sannyas. I didn't want to marry at that time. I was still preparing. So if given 2-3 more years, I would have decided to become grihastha. But at that time was not available. Somehow things went in such a manner. Therefore, but now that I am married, I beg you all to forgive me and accept me as a part of your devotee community. And if you all reject me, where will I go? Because material world is so horrible. Whole world is on fire. Samsara davanala. And I have no interest to enjoy material life. I'm married now, and she has become a devotee. I am a devotee. We want to practice, continue coming to temple, but we don't want Vaishnavas to turn their face away and go away. We want to see Vaishnavas talk to me and deal with me in the same friendly manner as they used to do before. So I hope you all will accept. In case you all say yes, come, then I will come for Pune Yatra this year. Otherwise, I won't come. And devotees were in tears when they read that. And everybody wrote back, and then he came. Pune Yatra. So I am telling you, this is the meaning of Apichet Sudracharo, Bhajate Imam Ananya Bhak. Ultimately, Vaishnava is a Vaishnava. Externally, he may do some activity which may not be pleasant, not proper at one time, but they quickly rectify the mistake and again become properly situated devotee of Krishna. For somebody, it may take 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. But other Vaishnavas should help them to be reinstated and be able to come and connect and come and be with devotees. So therefore, he is saying here that devotee may appear to be sudurachara, not well behaved in the beginning, but he should be accepted as a pure devotee because it's the right path. Because it's due to the prophylactic nature of Lord's association, he's saying. Because the Lord cures all the faults in the devotee very soon by enlightening the devotee. And Lord is a very grateful personality. Any devotion service you have rendered, he remembers it and helps you at a time of your need, surely. Other words I have already explained. Now we proceed to the next verse. Andam tama pravishanti ye vidyam upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yavu vidyayam radha. Yeah, translation.
Those who engage in the culture of nescient activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
Okay, see this 8th verse. Here the PPT you can see now. Very beautiful. Just quick revision of the 8th verse. You can see here. See the qualities. 10 qualities of the Lord are given here. And they are elaborated. See, Lord is Shukram. He is omnipotent. Every limb of his body can perform the activity of every other limb. He said that. And also the Upanishads always say no, 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 no hands, no legs. Why? For example, if I ask for a clothesline from you, and you are going to bring from the market, I tell you that, see, I'm going to put it from this wall to this wall. So it should be this long. Don't bring too long rope, isn't it? And don't bring too thick a rope. Don't bring too thin a rope, because if it is too thin, it will sag. Is it not true? And don't bring a jute thread, because if you put clothes, it may get cut. Correct, no? So we may say many no's. Correct, no? The rope should not be too long. It should not be too short. It should not be shorter than this. Then you can put it. Correct, no? It should not be too thin also. It should not be made of. So, but that doesn't mean you say no. It doesn't mean that the rope only is not there. Correct, no? Rope is there, but what do you want? You want a nylon rope or whatever, and some specifics are there. So the Upanishads oftentimes tell, just like, for example, you also want to ask one devotee to make a prasad plate for you. So you tell him, Prabhuji, bring bakri. Not too thick, and not sticking like this completely. If it is sticking and if you are bringing like a rubber, thick, very big in my plate. Not too cold, not made 2 hours before. Just, it should not be made too. So what is the meaning of that? If you say, no, don't bring what is made 2 hours before, means what? Fresh. Don't bring like a rubber plate. What should you bring? Thin and also fulka. Correct, no? Don't bring too cold. Means what? Hard. So it's implied. Is it not true? So see, the Upanishads begin with saying what God is not, and the Puranas tell us what God is. When you combine, then you come to the end of the Vedas. After that, you get a more complete understanding. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And then Archa Vigraha also we studied about it. This applies to all the mercifully to all living entities. She is the Paribhu, greatest of all. Everybody, including the impersonalists, beg from him. So we don't beg sense gratification from Lord Krishna. We only beg for service, loving service. Yeah. Lord is self-sufficient. So beautiful. And is antiseptic, because his activities like rasa dance are heard even by Lord Chaitanya, who was a strict sannyasi. And is Shuddham, Apapa Viddham. All these are called antiseptic and prophylactic. This we discussed just now. Who can't appreciate him? The fallen conditioned souls, Avajanati Mam Muhda, can appreciate him. Those who are not knowledgeable about him, they're poorly informed. Those who are influenced by Tamaguna, Rajaguna cannot appreciate him. Okay, let's go to the 9th verse. You read the translation, correct? Ready? Yeah. So, read the purport first. You understood this? Andham tamaha pravishanti. People, those who engage in the culture of ignorance, will enter into the darkest region of ignorance, which is hell. Yeah. And then he's saying, worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge, and we will see what it is eventually. Read the purport.
This mantra offers a comparative study of Vidya and Avidya. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but Vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Sri Isopanishad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education, but the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of most important part of life, the spiritual aspect.
Okay. Now, two type of vidya we will talk now. What modern people consider as very valuable is the Jada Vidya. Jada Vidya is actually Aparavidya, actually. It's not Aparavidya. It's actually called Avidya. There is Paravidya, Aparavidya, Avidya. 3 things. Avidya means study of dead matter. That's called Avidya, we call it. Aparavidya means non-transcendental portion of the Vedas, like our Ayurveda, Vastu Shastri. They call Aparavidya. They are not transcendental. They will help you to lead a happy life in this material world. Yeah. Paravidya means transcendental knowledge, which can actually take you back to Godhead or elevate you to come close to Lord. So now the avidya is considered very, very important nowadays. Correct, no? That's what Prabhupada is saying here. In fact, in South India, there was one Srirangam, one Brahmana. He had 2 sons. So somebody was asking him, where is your younger son? He very joyfully, very proudly lifted his head and said, my younger son is in America. He's doing his MS in such and such university. Then they asked him, what about your elder son? The elder son is not very intelligent. I just arranged for him to learn some puja part. He can do some pujari work. He can do some home and other things at home. He's doing some puja. So, according to him, what is his perception? Yeah. regarding second son, he's ready to speak for hours. He cracked in 10th standard this much. In engineering, he got the gold medal. And then he went to America. He's MS Computer Science in such and such big university, Carnegie Mellon University or Cornell University or something like that. And he's saying that after his MS, he's planning to settle there. And, he already got a placement. He's going to take a green card. He even told us that he wants to come and take us also. He's very proud. And he's talking hours. And you talk about the first son. He considers the first son a failure because he's studying the Vedas, chanting the Vedic mantras, doing puja, going to temple and doing some pujari service or whatever. So, in this way, the modern day avidya is given so much importance. People are very proud of sending their children abroad now. Agree? Correct, no? They consider as if it's a very big achievement. In fact, if you very carefully think about it, when Prabhupada, I told you once before, in 1966, when Prabhupada went to Berkeley University, one boy got up and said, Swamiji, this is time for advancement in science and technology and you are speaking Bhagavad Gita. Who will hear your Bhagavad Gita? When Prabhupada heard it, he said, yes, I have come to America to give some culture, give some devotion, teach the Vedas. I have come here as a giver. But because you are after technology, you are a beggar. You have come to this country to beg some dollar notes. I am not like you. So you chase after technology and be a beggar, and I will give Bhagavad Gita and be a giver. So in this, Prabhupada speaks in one of the morning lectures I heard Prabhupada say that. So Indians, are they going as givers or beggars? Beggars. You can see that. Although they claim to be very highly educated. Actually, in America, they have dollar notes. And Indians have the intelligence. You combine the two. That's what they're doing. They are actually taking dollar notes. And Americans know Indians are cheaper labor also. So they may accept Indians. Indians are very faithful and honest and tolerant and humble and hardworking and sacrificing, extending. All these qualities, all these qualities come because of Ramayana, Mahabharata. They have heard past times. So these things should be utilized where? In spiritual life. Instead of that, these guys are utilizing all this for what? Money making in the West. Correct, no? And they are ready to very faithfully do the job and get promotion and saluting them. And those guys put their money, these guys put their brain, and both are indulging in materialistic type of work for material advancement. Just eat, drink, and be merry. So one fellow was saying that he went to US many years ago and he had a property there and there are some problems in the property. He said, I am also from India. Can ISKCON help me to save my property? See, he is not chanting one round also Hare Krishna. He is not coming to ISKCON temple. He is only, his only qualification is he is a Hindu Brahmana, that's all. And he is asking whether ISKCON can help. So when ISKCON couldn't help, he started criticizing ISKCON. What is the use of you guys preaching about Bhagavad Gita if you are not able to help me? So I was laughing to myself. See, he leaves his traditional Vedic culture in India to go to a country and he is saluting the fellows who are, into all kinds of eating, all kinds of dirty stuff. And he's working for them, making dollar notes for decades. Now he has spent 2-3 decades there, he made money. But now his land is in little doldrum. And he wants ISKCON to help only in what purpose? Material purpose. How ridiculous it is, just see. So people can be so mean-minded. That's what the modern education has done to them. Just like dog-eat-dog situation. And people, their fixed goal is, have a good job, make a lot of money, have a big bank balance, have your own bungalow, your own car. Many times many of them marry American women. And then they beget children who don't know who is Rama, who is Krishna. And they don't even know. And they live lavish lives in America. And they don't want to come back to India because Indian life is more austere. And this is the fruit of their modern day education. And on the contrary, the Vedic times, I will tell you another thing which went on in the name of Vidya, which is cheating. That also I'll tell you. That is called Karma Mimamsa, we call it. Karma Mimamsakas are Brahmanas. So what is the understanding of these fellows? They say that Veda Vada Ratah Partha Nanidastiti Vadinah. He says, Kama Atmana Swargapara Janma Karma Falapradam Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Vogaishwari Katim Prati. So they say in this world karma reigns supreme. That is their understanding. Karma is so powerful that even God is under karma, according to them. And they will say that, you see, even Lord Rama is crying for Sita. Karma itna powerful hai, Bhagwan ko bhi bhugatna padta hai. Like that they say. The Lord has to suffer, according to them. So they will try to always extrapolate and come up with explanations from the Shastra. Like for example, they will say that, Rama killed Wali from behind the bush. Therefore, when he came as Krishna, hunter hid behind the bush and hit him on the feet. Like that they will connect. Although these connections are all not given anywhere in the Shastra. This is their speculation. So in this way, they try to somehow prove that God is also undergoing karmic reaction. Although Lord Krishna says clearly, Namam karmani limpanti. Karma cannot touch me. Nami karma phale spruha, he says. So, these people, what is their logic? They say that if you do good, you have to get good results. You have to get. And God will be forced to give you good results if you do good. And therefore, what they say, now you may say, okay, you do punya and you'll go to heaven. But when your punya gets over, you'll come down. They say, yes, we know it. You know it. You know, kshine punya martalokamashant. Yes, we know it. Then what is the use of your good going down? Yeah, do good, go up there. Then your account is exhausted, come back and do more good. And then what do you do? Again go back. When kshine punya, then you come back. Then what? They say there is no other goal of life. This is the goal of life. Do punya, go up, exhausted, come back, do more punya. And this is the goal of karma mimamsakas. This is what they are teaching. Yamimam pushpidam vācam prabhadanti avipaschitah vedavādaratā parthanāni dastīti vādinah. Krishna says that. He's calling them as avipashchit brahmanas. Fools. Avipashchit means ill-informed, not informed properly. See, one thing we should know, one should understand the supremacy of Krishna beyond everything. Like, according to them, see, if you throw a ball on the wall, what will happen? Yeah, correct. So if you do pop, you get pop results. If you do punya, you get punya results. What can God do? God will be forced to give you, either they say. But you will see, this is denied in the Bhagavatam. This bit is Bhajandiye yatha devan deva api tatevatan chayeva karma sachivaha sadhavo deenavatsalaha. See, the devatas are called karma sachiv. Anybody know the meaning of word sachiv? Secretary. Yeah, devatas are what secretary? Karma secretary. If you do punya, they will give you, punya results. If you do pap, they will give you, and they have no freedom. But that is not true for Krishna. You will see here. Sadhavo, for Krishna's devotees, they interfere with your karma. That will come in the. Read this.
Those who worship the demigods receive reciprocation from the demigods in a way just corresponding to the offering. The demigods are attendants of karma, like a person's shadow, but sadhus are actually merciful to the fallen.
Now you will see here. I'll show you. Read this, demigods are empowered.
The demigods are empowered by the Lord to follow precisely the particular karma of a living entity in awarding him happiness and distress. Just as a shadow cannot move independently, the demigods cannot punish or reward a living being independently. Although the demigods are millions of times more powerful than the human beings on the earth, they are ultimately tiny servants of God, whom the Lord allows to play as the controllers of the universe. In the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj, an empowered incarnation of the Lord, states that even the demigods are subject to punishment by the Lord if they deviate from his laws. On the other hand, devotees of the Lord, such as Narad Muni, by their potent preaching, can interfere in the karma of a living being.
You heard the word interfere? Like a living entity is going to hell, going down. Narada can go in between and put him on his shoulder and take him up. They can interfere with the karma. Gliding to hell, they can stop him from going to hell and take him to spiritual platform. Yeah.
Can interfere in the karma of a living being by persuading him to give up his fruitive activity and mental speculation and surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In material existence, one works hard under the bondage of ignorance, but if one becomes enlightened by association with a pure devotee of the Lord, one can understand one's actual position as an eternal servant of God. By rendering such service, one dissolves his attachment to the material world and the reactions of his previous activities, and as a surrendered soul, he is endowed with unlimited spiritual freedom in the service of the Lord.
I understand now. See, demigods keep giving you according to the karmic reactions you have produced. But pure devotees interfere with your karmic reactions and wipe it out. Karmani. And then they change your fate. If pure devotees can do that, what more Krishna can do, you can think about. Correct, no? Because pure devotees are whose devotees? Then think about Krishna, what he can do. Correct, no? Even Krishna's devotees are capable of acting better than demigods also. Therefore, they are more worshipable than demigods. And what to speak of Krishna, who is the Lord of such pure devotees? Not just one or two pure devotees, millions of pure devotees worship him. So therefore, the karma mimamsakas are faulty. Because they, once Rasaraj was saying, these karma mimamsakas are so foolish to think that God is like a wall. You throw a ball and it comes back to your hand. Is God a wall? God is Krishna. So for example, Krishna is standing there. You throw a ball. Krishna can take the ball and throw it back to you. Or you throw a ball, you can take it and keep it with him. And not give it, correct, no? Or you throw a ball, you can take it and throw your golden ball back. You can do anything, because he is not just a wall. So therefore one should know God is not bound by our good and bad actions. In a moment, He can deliver anybody. So the point is, karma mimamsakas are also faulty in understanding of the goal of the Vedas. They are not devotees. So in the same manner, whether you are a Vedic follower or a Jadavidya follower, both these so-called learned fellows are fools. Like that he is saying, they are foolish. Like for example, there was in Jiddu Krishnamurti, he said to his people, don't follow anyone's authority. And he has a big following. He has hundreds and thousands of people following him for his intellectual talker. So somebody came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, he says don't follow anybody, but you say follow Guru Parampara. We are confused. And Prabhupada said, see, if he says don't follow anybody, then don't follow him. Correct, no? Why do you follow him? Don't follow him also. Why are you going and lending your ear to hear him? You give him up. So, and then Prabhupada said, any fool can say don't follow, but ultimately everybody is following somebody. Actually, there are boys who will come and talk to you as if they have coined a new philosophy in their life. But if you carefully see, most of the stuff comes from the books they are reading. The books they are reading, novels they have read, movies they have watched. Ultimately, we all have very limited perception in this world. Most of our personality is made up of what we have gathered from here and there. Only thing is you have to decide what to gather. Whether to eat pizza, pastries, pasta, or should I eat rice, dal, sabji, chapati. So what you take, accordingly your body becomes, correct, no? So in the same manner, the intake of your spiritual food, if it is from jnanis, then you become like a Mayavadi. If it is from karma mimamsakas, you will be making false arguments. If it is from bhaktas, then you will make a bhakti argument. So therefore, ultimately you will see that in the name of Vidya, they are cheating. Two type of cheaters I told you. One is teaching Jada Vidya in the modern times. Another fellow, karma mimamsakas. So therefore he is saying, Yavu Vidyayam Rataha means, worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Now you understand the so-called knowledge. Go ahead, next paragraph.
As far as Vidya is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is in darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated.
Yeah. In modern times, you go to a second or third standard child. I saw in one family, small kid, third or fourth standard. And the children are taught that your ancestors are monkeys. And everything came from a big bang or something like that. So small kids, poor kids, you are giving them these wrong impressions at an age when they are very tender. And you are cheating them. Now when they come to college, they find it very difficult to wipe that out and accept the reality. When we were small kids, in the evening we would come back from the school and then we would go and take a bath and eat some tiffin at home and go to the Vishnu temple in the end of the street. So on the way back, we will come to one Kumbhona Tayar, one gentleman, with a long beard. He will look like Vedavyas, with a beard and long hair and with a beautiful tilak. So very old man. He must be in 80s, I think. So he would be sitting in the veranda and we all would sit about 20-25 of us. Very regular program. Every day would come. He would tell something from Ramayana, Mahabharata, tell some little stories. So one of the days he was telling us that, how this world came. He told about Vishnu lying in the milk ocean and then of course he told about Garbhodaksha Vishnu. From his navel Brahma came, and how the Srishti took place and all the living beings came. So he was telling one of the days. So when he was talking about Krishna and Rama, so he was telling that their body is different from our body. Our body, although the body looks very similar, their body will not die like our bodies. So then some of the children were asking, whether if you pinch them, whether they will feel pain, whether they get disease or not, they get old age. He said, no, you will never get old. And the Lord's body is like lightning. It's very, very tenacious, very powerful. And then he told about the killing of how Rama killed so many demons, how Krishna killed so many demons. And there is no history of Rama and Krishna defeated in any battle. So actually, when we heard this, my age must be 6 probably, I think. 6 or 7, I think, at the most. So when you hear these things, and we used to go to the temple, so the impressions of the temple gopuram, the ringing of the bell, the pujari performing puja, and we would purchase flowers and go and offer it. So the early day impressions are so deep, and the hearing of that holy names of singing, those sounds are still ringing in the ears, and it's very important for children at the young age to get this type of impression. Otherwise, the modern day children are not only cheated of the this valuable impressions, but they are also taught something absurd as the truth at early day. It is actually the greatest massacre, we can say. So Prabhupada called the schools and colleges as spiritual slaughterhouses. It's not an exaggeration at all in the least sense of the term. It is not an exaggeration, it's a reality actually. Because if you give the children early day support in speaking the real, therefore nowadays there is a very big movement all over the world that if you are going to tell falsity to children, if you say the Vedic literature you don't accept and you are saying another bluff, so then present both the things. Let children decide which one. Correct, no? In BMS they asked me, how do we teach? I told them, you teach them about man coming from monkeys or Darwin also, and you teach them about Brahma and Saptarishis from whom the Gotrams are starting. Teach both to the children and tell them how this is very logical. But ultimately they will decide which one to choose. Correct, no? So these people who are teaching about Darwin's theory and Big Bang theory in the school days for children, they should be put behind the bars. Is it not? Because they are cheating the children. Now, if these theories are proven ill, are they ready to go to jail because of destroying the intelligence of so many innocent children? Correct, no? And you are actually you are like a what do you call it? A hijacker of the children. The children would have gone back to Godhead. You hijacked them and took them to hell. So you took them to hell. So you deserve bigger punishment than any other thief or rogue. You agree? Therefore, he's saying, worse still, he's saying, see, here what word he's using here? Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. This is what he's saying. And these guys have no clue of why this universe exists. They think this world is existing for no rhyme or reason. They have no knowledge at all. And they don't know the goal of life. They don't know who you are in essence. Are you chemical bundle? Are you soul? And they are going on in the name of teachers, very much by kindly helping all the boys to graduate into nothingness. Graduate and go to darkness. That's all. So therefore, the sloka condemns such so-called educators. They are not teachers, they are cheaters, he's saying. Go ahead.
Of the different classes of men, karmis, jnanis and yogis, the karmis are those who are engaged in the activities of sense gratification. In the modern civilization, 99.9% of the people are engaged in the activities of sense gratification under the flags of industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism, and so on. All these activities are more or less based on satisfaction of the senses to the exclusion of the kind of God consciousness described in the first mantra.
See, the first mantra says very simply that, you have to only know one thing in this world. Ishavasyam, Idam, Sarvam. Everything in this world belongs to Ish, the Supreme Lord. He's the proprietor. And then it says, it's not that he's a proprietor, you can't touch it. You are allowed to take your quota. So, okay, what is our quota? According to Vedas, Vedas say that the cow is a mother and bull is a father. So every man is allowed to have a cow and a bull. With the cow you get milk, you drink milk and nourish your brain tissues and study the Vedic literature. And then turn the milk into curd, so you can take dahi bar. And then from the curd you make butter, and then you make ghee. Then ghee you can offer it for the sacrifices. And then you have excessive ghee available, you can sell it, and that is economic development. You can make money also with that. And you don't need to purchase any manure because cow and bull will give you dung, cow dung, and cow urine. The cows just keep running in the field, and then the field becomes naturally fertile. And the bull is a father because the bull plows the field and gives you grains. So, in fact, many, many great agriculturalists have proven, they have taken thousands of acres of land and they gave one acre to one fellow. In 1 acre, you can make a house for yourself, husband, wife, 2 children, and man's mother, father. How many totally? 6 people can live. And just behind the house, you tie your cow and bull. And this 1 acre land, you plow, you cultivate, you can get vegetables, fruits, cereals, spices, everything you can get. In fact, they have proven now, practically, on a practical level, I'm not talking theory. If you have 1 acre of land, not only you can have your food and clothing and shelter for a family, but you can save also every month. More than, for over a period of time, the savings will accrue. So there are, if you go to the agricultural people, they can tell you. And this, in order to prove this, in India, they have taken many, many places. In fact, there are people in Pune who told me also, your youths, if they want to come, I'll give them 1 acre of land. And I've teach them also how to develop. And they don't need anything. They don't have to go to industry. They don't have to drive car. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to live in the farm, and you can live very happily. So recently I went to one village, 2 boys, brothers. They studied in Pumba. You know Pumba? Well, it's Pune University MBA. Pune University. So they were actually, yeah, they were, toppers. They were toppers in the college. Most brilliant fellows. But they were having an Innova car. They took me somewhere in the village. I asked, what are you guys doing in the village? You are MBA, toppers. They said when we came out of a college in Pune, immediately they got placed in 4-5 industries in Pune itself. But they threw away all the job and went to village. Now they're living. They said, why should we live in Pune city? Our parents are in village, our brothers, sisters, family, children, everybody. So they are living in a very big house in the village and they are cultivating. And they have a goshala with 50, 60 cows. They had one Kapila guy also. They showed, I saw them. And then they were telling, we are growing here organic items and all, and we're sending to Germany. He's saying, that fellow said, I am earning 6 times the money what I will earn in Pune. He said. And in Pune, I have to wag my tail and salute a boss, and I have to work for someone here. In village, I am a zamindar here. Sitting at home peacefully. I have so many employees working in the field. And the goods are going to Germany, organic foods and all. And we have ample of time. We go for satsang, we have temple here. And we are all living as a joint family, 50, 60 of us. Very happily, all in the same village. So he's intelligent fellows, correct, no? So, because in this world, be very clear, have a compass. First of all, decide why you are living in the first place in this world. Actually, you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. You are now trapped in the body like a bird trapped in a cage. You have to get out of this body and go back home, back to God. The material world is made for what purpose? As I told you in one of the previous classes, the quota, for everything quota is given. Accept the quota, it is sanctioned and sanctified. And accept the quota. By accepting quota and living in this world, you will not harm others, and others won't harm you. You can live peacefully. But living peacefully is not the goal of life in this world. Because these facilities are provided for only one purpose. Accept these facilities now and work on purification of heart. Chetodarpana Mardanam happens by chanting and hearing the scriptures from saintly people. So if you agree with this fact that purifying the heart is the only goal of life, purifying the heart and glorifying God and going back home, back to God. If you accept this is the only goal, then your lifestyle in this world will be different. And if you don't accept this as the ultimate goal, you are going to live your lifestyle different. Do you agree? If you don't agree with what I told you now, you are going to lead a materialistic life in city, not just in India. You will go all over the world. Because then your goal will be dharma, artha, kama. But if you agree with what I told you, you have a cow and a bull, you live in a village, purification of heart, glorification of God is the goal. You can live a very peaceful life with no greed, with God in the center. And then moksha, it means liberation. And bhakti means engagement after liberation. If that is our goal, get liberated and then engage in Krishna service. So one can lead a very peaceful life. But what happened to man? Modern man became very greedy. In villages, what he did, he thought this bull is plowing very slow. We want to make everything fast and make a lot of money. Even today, many farmers want to make a lot of money. Like they think instead of rice, we can make sugarcane. In rice, if I get 5 lakh per year, sugarcane I'll get 10, 12 lakhs. Or if I put tobacco, I'll get 20 lakhs. So many farmers want to go for tobacco. Tobacco, you may tell them, tobacco is killing so many youths, smoking cigarette. But they will say, if they die, what can I do? I am making money. That means what is it? Greed. Correct, no? Greed. Okay, if everybody wanted to make sugarcane, can you eat sugarcane morning, afternoon, night? Can you survive on that? What do you need? Will you die without a cigarette? Will you die without sugarcane? No. But without rice, can anybody survive? But that nobody wants to cultivate. Because of greed. Now the same greed, how it took shape. In villages, they stopped the bulls and brought the tractors. The tractors came, very quick, plowing the field. And then even for sowing seed also, you can throw seeds with tractors. That is also done very quick. Now there is no water. For water, they have to look up when the rains are going to come. They understood that the rains come only during June, July. Correct, no? So then they made the dam after that. When water comes, make the dam. So that we don't have to depend on God for the rains. Whenever rains come, you store and keep it. And we can call for the water whenever we want. So they made the dam, bring the water. Now water also is brought. Land is plowed, seed is put. Then what do you want? A plant is coming slowly. This is too slow. Bring fertilizer. Then they brought the fertilizer. Put fertilizer. It goes very fast. And a banana has come now, but it is all green. Green. We want to sell and make quick money. Then put smoke. Quickly sell immediately. Instant money they want. Make it yellow looking. Outside it is yellow. Inside, kacha. Chow chow chow. No taste. So everything fast they want. And also they want to have fruits in all times of the year. So they brought cold freezers. And then in this way, and man, one more thing. This is one thing. This is village greed. And I'll tell you about city greed. That's another thing. Why everybody comes to Bombay? Bombay capacity is 1.5 million. 15 lakh people can live in Bombay. But 1.5 crore people are living. Actually, you can have 15 lakh people, but how many? It's like 1.5 million is capacity. 15 million is living in Bombay. So you may ask, how? Because the capacity is 1.5 million. How is 15 million? Because sky-rise towers, skyscraper buildings they made. Now imagine you are in 80th floor. Now in villages, if you have to pass through, you have to come down and go to the bushes. Are there any bushes in Bombay? So then what do you need? Attached toilet. Correct? Okay, now you have attached toilet. You pass the stool there. Now how the stool will go out? Then you put pipes. Okay, you brought it up to the ground level. Now ground, how will it go now? Then big sewage pipes coming out of the city. You have to make industries making pipes. Like we have this, what do you call this? Phenolics, make pipes company. Okay, you've thrown out the sewage now, but you need drinking water. Where will it come from? Where will you get it from? Then you have to get drinking water. You have to have tanks. Then milk you need. Where is the milk made? Villages have the. Then you have the lorries bringing milk. And vegetable will come from where? Bring vegetables. And vegetables get spoiled after 2 days. What to do? Cold freezer. How many? 6 months. Cold freezer. Will vegetable have any vitamin? Then you have to have hospitals for curing diseases because you don't have any vitamin. You see? And then for bringing everything into the city, you need to bring vegetable, rice, wheat, and milk and all these things in the city. What do you need? You need trucks. Then you need which industries? Transport industries. I mean, truck making industry, Ashok Leyland, Bajaj Auto, correct, no? You need industries. But in those industries, they make the vehicles, correct, no? So what ingredients you need? Raw materials. They have wood. They need wood, steel, glass, paint, rubber. Then you have rubber industry, steel industry, wood industry, correct, no? Iron industry, all those things you start, correct, no? Then all those industries are saying, we are doing technological development. What technological development? Who told you to come to Bombay in the first place? Correct, no? Make all these industries. And after making all the industries, now they will say, but lorry has to come. Lorry is ready, but there is no diesel. For diesel, what do you need? Petrol. But petrol is available where? In Gulf. From Gulf, how will you bring it to India? Aeroplane. You need aeroplane. And for aeroplane, what industry you need? Aeronautics industry. Correct, no? So this is how man is fooling himself. You understand? No? See, he is expanding all these things and saying this was self-created duty. Repeat it. And he's thinking, I am very, very advanced. Very advanced. We are making big industries. Very proud. He is simply fooling himself. Is it not true? Just think about it. What a big foolishness. Simply because this fellow left the village and came to city, all these industries have come. Now, solution is very easy. Just go back to village, where river is available, where cows are available, vegetables are available, fruits are available, home is available, and you can live very peacefully. That he doesn't want because money is where? Money is honey. So he comes to Bombay. Wherever there is money, economic capital. So he wants to make money. And for making money, he's spoiling his health. There's air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, mind pollution, sub pollution, everything. Just think about it. And this is why he's saying, and these are quote unquote educated fools, educated fellows. So they may say we are educated fellows, we call them educated fools. Yeah, these are ordinary fools. What fools? Because the education has brought them to this level of insanity. You can see that. That is why Prabhupada is saying this, in the name of economic development, industrialization, simply cheating themselves and suffering in life. When are they going to really be happy in life? Actually, two types of happiness. One is happiness in this world and happiness in the next world. They have lost both. They only have pride that we have a big industry. Like one man was working in Bombay in a big sky-rise tower. When he came to bus stop, the bus was getting a little late. He was telling everybody, "Aap logon ko malum hai, where am I working? You see that tall building. In the entire area, our company is the tallest. See the building. Kisi ke saath bhi compare and see." And 2 days later, he lost the job there. Now he is no more connected to that tall building. Now he is running here and there for a job. And this is called material achievement. Material achievement means that today you can boast yourself, tomorrow it won't be there with you. It will be gone. Here, there, gone tomorrow. That is material achievement. How utterly foolish. In the name of success, they are fooling themselves like this. So, that's what he's saying here. 99.9% people are engaged in these activities of sense gratification, he's saying. Go ahead, next para.
In the language of the Bhagavad Gita 7.15, people who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudhas, asses. The ass is a symbol of stupidity. Those who simply engage in the profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya, according to Sri Isopanishad. And those who play the role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancement are actually doing more harm than those who are on the platform of gross sense gratification. The advancement of learning by a godless people is as dangerous as a valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra.
Manina bhushta sarpa kim asavana bhayankara, it is said. If there is a money on the head of a cobra, and you think, oh, such a shining Kohinoor diamond, let me just spread my hand and pick it up. You take your hand near, instead of you touching the money, the snake will touch you. Next moment you will die. Similarly, an educated man is compared to a cobra in whose head there is some so-called material achievements. So you go after material achievement, you will be bitten by the cobra of so-called education, which is another name of ignorance. Yeah. Yes.
A cobra decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. In the Hari Bhakti Shuddhodaya 3.11.12, the advancement of education by a godless people is compared to decorations on a dead body.
Yeah, you know that verse, no? Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasti Jati Shastram Japastha Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. In America, when somebody dies, before they put him in a coffin, they want to please the relatives. So what they do, they put a very nice coat, suit, boot, tie, very nice cap. They make the dead fellow look like a very nice gentleman. And then they also put all the scents all over the body, and they give a rose in his, coat. And when people look at him, hey, he looks very smart. Huh? But what smart? What body it is? Dead body. What the use of a smartness of a dead body? Huh? So it's like apranasya Dehasya, Mandanam, Lokaranjanam. All people are doing Lokaranjanam. Huh? Hey, buddy, bahut sundar, bahut khubsarat. Photo will click the photos, isn't it? But it's a dead body. Similarly, he's saying that modern day education is making people only dead bodies. Because why? Because they are godless people. Godless people are no less than a dead body. He's saying in the name of education, they have no meaning of life, purpose of life, goal of life. They don't know where they came from, where are they going, why are they living. They are simply like blind fellows running, like blind people running towards the ocean. One blind fellow is running and telling everybody, come all of you, catch my shirt, I'll take you. And everybody is going into, be carried away by the waves of the ocean, foolishly. And that is the modern education, he's saying, yeah. So prior to that, here we read till now the ass is a symbol of stupidity. Why? Because ass thinks that unless my boss gives me some grass to eat, how will I, survive? I need some job. Somebody has to maintain me. Actually, this is the Shudra thinking. Shudra's thinking means, somebody has to maintain me and I will stay in their custody and salute them like a slave and work for them. Correct, no? Actually, that is Shudra mentality. But Brahmana, you will see these three categories: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Brahmana, does not know what about tomorrow's food. And he has no salary also. Whatever Krishna sends, he will take it. And Kshatriya, he can't be sure whether he will return back home after the battle. He is taking life risk. Correct, no? So Brahmana takes survival risk and sustenance risk. And Kshatriya takes life risk. And Vaishya takes money risk. Invest money. Sometimes you put 5 lakh and you get 50 lakhs. Sometimes you 5 lakh and you lose everything in business. But Shudra takes which risk? No risk. Therefore, he has to wag his tail and beg for a job. And proper saying modern day colleges and schools are producing only class of Shudras. There are boys who committed suicide in the final year because they didn't get jobs. Actually, I want to tell them, look at these brahmacharis. You are worried whether you'll get a job or not. We never tried for the job. We are happy here. Is it not true? Actually, how much confidence Prabhupada has given us, think about it. You can throw away all the slavery to the industries and companies and everything, and we can do God's work with full confidence. We can go door to door and give people Bhagavad Gita, go to the schools, colleges, and you can give them the best wisdom of enlightenment from the Gita. And you stand in your own leg. You have no fear about tomorrow. We don't have a bank balance in our name. We don't know about tomorrow, but we have full confidence that Krishna will take care of us. So therefore, we should know that what Prabhupada has given us is not ordinary thing. We should not be foolish to. And some brahmacharis who come, eventually they don't practice this path properly, due to which after 5 years, 10 years, they develop insecurity. Hamara kya hoga? That means they have become like Shudras. They are not having full confidence in this path. Because if somebody faithfully follows this path, you don't have to become a slave of some metalist. See, Indian Brahmana boys are going to America and working under the money investors, who eat all kinds of flesh, including cow flesh also. They are saluting work. Is it not like Rup Sanatan working for Nawab Zain Shah? Is it a very similar thing now? Correct, no? People go and work here, work there, like this. And then they work for what? So those money investors are materialistic fellows. And is a Brahmana supposed to assist a materialistic fellow? So it's the greatest misfortune. Because the Brahminical intelligence is given to them in Brahmana families to use it to study the Shastra. And release the Shastra, practice it, and then you also teach it. So it's not that only Brahmana boys can do, even those who are not Brahmanas also. If you're born in India, India itself is a Punya Bhumi. But especially I'm saying Brahmana, why? Because the Prabhupada says that just like a machine, the Saptarishis, the Brahminical heredity which are coming, if those fellows don't become Vaishnavas, they will become like Brahma Rakshas. They will misuse the Brahminical intelligence, which is what Prabhupada says, that they are using it for coding, writing computer algorithms and everything. Using it for matter, meddling with matter. So actually you are supposed to deal with spirit, not with matter. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The modern education is cheating the living entities of their true spiritual engagement and offering them useless, mundane engagement for nothing. So they're making donkeys out of them, Prabhupada is saying. Because the donkey actually thinks, oh, if my master doesn't give me some clumps of grass, I will die. Or a fool, everywhere grass is available. You don't need a master to give you the grass. Anywhere you can go and eat. So Brahmana means he has that full confidence. The material world is filled with so much, replete with innumerable resources. It's not that you have to wag your tail in industry and punch the card when the siren blows and work under a boss, then only you will get salary. You actually do God's work, people will come and throw. This is only Jayatu Swami Maharaj said, people are throwing money at me, I have no time to pick up the money. You are selling. When I travel across the globe, people are throwing so much money at me, and I have no time to pick up, I have no interest to pick up. You are selling. And it is a fact for a person. The same on a grihastha also, if he understands all these things, he will keep his family life very simple. If you make material life simple, your material needs will also become reduced. Therefore, I told you just 1 acre of land, 1 cow, 1 bull. A man can live and plus earn also in that. And then what is the active engagement for him? Ample of time. Study the Shastra, engage in Navvidha Bhakti. Put up a small temple or something, gather all the people, Shravanam, Kirtanam, everything engage. In this way, one can perfect one's life. Go ahead.
In India, as in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession.
One more thing I want to say here, Professor, and those who play the role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancement are doing more harm. This is a very important point. There are many people starting educational institutions, like you find engineering colleges and others, private people are starting, correct now? One fellow has 150 colleges, in multiple colleges. I don't want to mention the names, you all know that. Correct now? Different groups are there. Correct now? So these educationists who are starting many engineering colleges, medical colleges, arts colleges, science colleges, schools and all, do you think they are very noble people who want to see the masses get enlightened? What is the goal? Business. Education has become a business. They are sitting there like a businessman in Galla, sitting and collecting capitation fee. 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh people are collecting and giving engineering seats, medical seats to the students. And then here they take a lot of money from the students and while giving to teachers, they don't give them enough salary. Correct, no? Teachers keep coming, going. Very poor quality of education, poor quality of certification. So education has become a very big business now. All over. So in this way, it's cheating at every level. See, the education business itself is cheating nowadays. Brahmana means you should not touch anybody's money. You should just sit under a tree and invite students, please come. Like right now, I'm teaching all of you. This is like Brahmana's work. In ISKCON, Prabhupada taught us to preach like Brahmana. In Chatushpati, you sit under a tree, some students are interested to hear. You teach them. And then how much salary you should take from them? Nothing. But in case they give dakshina on their own voluntarily, and many of the students will give only rice. Somebody gives rice, somebody gives vegetables, somebody gives wheat, somebody gives sugar, somebody brings some milk from the home, and they give it out of love. Whatever they can bring and give, they just give it to the teacher. And the teacher earns that livelihood, and he doesn't have to bother at all, because everybody brings little quantity, and the total is more than what the teacher needs. And life goes on. And teacher doesn't bother about tomorrow, because lifelong he will keep on teaching and sharing and giving out knowledge. And this is a traditional education. Now tell all the educationists, sir, you are so noble. They're starting so many colleges, don't take any fee. Will they agree? Please allow the teachers to be like Brahmanas. Or will the teachers join that? Tell me. Isn't it? And also, even if teachers teach free, students are also so dull-headed nowadays, they won't give a single penny also. Nowadays, correct? Isn't it? In India, people ask, is it free? Anything free, they will take. Like one old lady came on Janmashtami day, we had kept English pamphlets, device pamphlets. She picked up and asked, hey, Mafat mein hai kya? And I said, free. So he asked, what do you want? Free, and then I can take it, she's saying. I don't know what will they do by taking free. People like free. Anything free. Correct, no? So both have to be educated. The teacher has to be educated that don't take salary. And the student has to be educated that give dakshina. Both are foolish because they both have no knowledge of Vedas. See, this is a situation. Modern day education has made a fool out of everybody. And how to reverse the situation? Prabhupada says, these fellows have first class systems in the college. They have laboratory, they have big infrastructures, a lot of money in their pocket, big buses, limousine buses, and in this certification systems. So they have made the systems very pakka for giving nothing. Correct, no? And in Vedic knowledge, the substance is very powerful, but our systems are very poor. Prabhupada was the first one to make at least the ISKCON level of system, at least. It can be improved over the generations. But if we make our systems very pakka, then we can also offer good spiritual education and wake up the sleeping people. Correct, no? Go ahead.
In India, as in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure.
This is what I was telling you, correct, no? Decorating the dead body, yeah.
Decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of material existence. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. But above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Thus, the aim of real education should be self-realization, realization of the spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. and to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance.
Yeah. Yes. Now we go to the next paragraph.
According to the Bhagavad Gita 2.4 to 7.15, mistaken mundane educators are known as Veda Vadarata and Mayaya Aparita Jnana.
Correct.
They may also be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Veda Vadarata pose themselves as very educated, very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately, they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, it is said that the purpose of the Vedas is to know the personality of God.
Vedashcha Sarvayan. Yes.
But these Vedavadarata men are not at all interested in the personality of Godhead. On the contrary, they are fascinated by such fruitive results as the attainment of heaven. As stated in
So I
Mantra
have
1,
explained the next two paragraphs, you can read it. Yeah.
As
I have already elaborated already. Yeah.
As stated in Mantra 1, we should know that the personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of the necessities of life. The purpose of all Vedic literature is to awaken this God consciousness in the forgetful living being, and this same purpose is presented in various ways in the different scriptures of the world for the understanding of a foolish mankind. Thus,
So the goal of life is first we should know MSC. What is MSC? Matter, spirit, and control of both. Right now we are entangled in matter. We have to get liberated from matter and engage in Lord service. So there are three energies: Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tadasa Shakti. So Antaranga Shakti is like the moonlight to the moon. If spiritual world is moon, or Krishna is like moon, Radharani is like moonlight. And the Bahiranga Shakti is like the cloud, which is hiding like if you see, the sun only produces the cloud, but the cloud blocks our vision of the sun. Correct, no? So if you go in a plane above the cloud, then you can see the sun. Correct, no? The same manner, if you go beyond the external energy, then you can see the Lord and the spiritual world, everything. So in this way, we should know the Bahiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, and we are all Tatastha Shakti. So real education means to teach all the Tatastha Shakti living entities that you get rid of this covering of material nature and then go back to God. That's what he's saying, that if this knowledge is not given, then the living entities remain submerged in ignorance and then they keep suffering. So the Veda Vadarata people don't teach this. They simply teach you how to do punya and go to heaven. Read ahead.
thus, the ultimate purpose of all religions is to bring one back to Godhead. But the Vedavadarata people, instead of realizing that the purpose of the Vedas is to revive the forgetful soul's lost relationship with the personality of Godhead, take it for granted that such side issues as the attainment of heavenly pleasure for sense gratification, the lust for which causes their material bondage in the first place, are the ultimate end of the Vedas. Such people misguide others by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Sometimes they even condemn the Puranas, which are authentic Vedic explanations for laymen. The Vedavadaratas give their own explanations of the Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers, acharyas. They also tend to raise some unscrupulous person.
See, the Vedavadatas are Karmakandi Brahmanas, Kattar Brahmanas, Vedavadatas. And acharyas are Vaishnava acharyas, like our Prabhupada, Bhakti Shastri Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So these acharyas are all teaching us Puranas. And the Puranas are actually helping us to understand. See, the Puranas are like a sister, and the Vedas are like a mother, like that. And the Vedanta Sutra, and all of them are like a father, very philosopher. Like Upanishads and Vedanta Sutra, they talk like more philosophically. They speak. Like if you see the Puranas, they actually persuade a living entity to understand the Lord and surrender to the Lord. So therefore, these Puranas are very important. Otherwise, Vedanta Sutra, most people will not understand directly. It's all like small sutras, elaboration of which is available in the Puranas. So the Acharyas teach Puranas and very easily bring the living entities to the right path. Whereas the Vedavadaras are Kattar Brahmanas, they aim at heaven. And they look like very ostentatious demonstration of Vedic chant. If you go to the YouTube, you will find so many mantra chanters. You'll find very powerfully they chant. Even I was also part of the group before. Sahasrani sahasrasho ye rudramati bhumyam. Like that they would chant very together in a chorus, Namaste yastu bhagavan vishveshwaraya mahadevaya triyam bhaya triburantagaya trikalagnika. So when they chant like that, it will go like a wave. People wonder, my Lord, what a chant. Most people don't know the meaning of what is it. If you see the meaning, what he says Sahasrani sahasrasho ye rudra adibhumya. He says that, oh Rudra, you are carrying a trishul which represents a Trividata. And please do not bring it close to me. Go 1,000 yojanas far away from me. That's the meaning of that. He says. And then he says that you are the adipati of tamaguna. Ye anneshu vividyanti patreshu pibato janana. Which means in whichever patra the food is kept which is not offered to the Lord, that is in tamaguna. So you cling on to those places and you attack the people who eat such food, which are unoffered food and contaminated food. But we request you that forgive our mistakes and go 1,000 yojanas far away. Actually, most people don't know these meanings also. When they recite those verses, Only what they appreciate is the flowery words. He says, no, Yamima Pushpitam Vacham. And most people sit in the yajnas and Vedic chant and everything say, oh, acha program tha hai. But they don't understand anything. In most homes, when a person dies also, they just tell a person to read the entire Sanskrit Bhagavatam. You know that? Any of you have heard about it? From the beginning to end, 18,000 verses, one Brahmana will come, read and go in the 13 days. They do that, sir. But the Brahmana doesn't explain one word to the family members. Silently, he sits near the puja room and just continuously reads all the verses and goes away. Is it very beneficial? Little beneficial, because Bhagavatam is being recited. But what I'm saying is, this kind of Vedavada Rathas are cheating themselves and cheating others because a temporary goal, going to heaven and coming back and forth again and again, considering lot to be inferior to the laws of karma. It's a very narrow-minded vision. So therefore, they are as much condemned as the modern day educators. Both are condemned.
They also tend to raise some unscrupulous person from among themselves and present him as the leading exponent of Vedic knowledge. Such Vedavadaratas are especially condemned in this mantra by the very appropriate Sanskrit words Vidyayam Rataha.
So they will choose whom as their leader, one who is a erudite scholar in Sanskrit. They will choose some scholar who has written Panini grammar, commentaries, purport, and he has written many books. He's a pakka scholar, but big non-devotee also. Not a devotee. One word about Krishna he will not talk, and they make him their leader. And that's what Prabhupada is saying.
Vidyayam refers to the study of the Vedas because the Vedas are the origin of all knowledge, Vidya. And Rataha means those engaged. Vidyayam Ratah thus means those engaged in the study of the Vedas. The so-called students of the Vedas are condemned herein because they are ignorant of the actual purpose of the Vedas on account of their disobeying the Acharyas. Such Vedavada Rathas search out meanings in every word of the Vedas to suit their own purposes. They do not know that the Vedic literature is a collection of extraordinary books that can be understood only through the chain of disciplic succession. One must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental message of the Vedas. That is the direction of the Mundaka Upanishad 1.2.12. These Vedavada Ratha people, however, have their own acharyas who are not in the chain of transcendental succession. Thus, they progress into the darkest region of ignorance by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. They fall even further into ignorance than those who have no knowledge of the Vedas at all.
Because these are the Brahmanas Prabhupada talking, like Jaimini of Karmi Mamamsaka and other systems also. They will talk all that, but they will have no clear-cut goal of life. Yeah.
The Mayaya Aprita Jnana class of men are self-made gods. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other god. They will agree to worship an ordinary man if he happens to be rich, but they will never worship the personality of Godhead. Such men, unable to recognize their own foolishness, never consider how it is that God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory energy. If God were ever entrapped by Maya, Maya would be more powerful than God. Such men say that God is all powerful, but they do not consider that if he is all powerful, there is no possibility of his being overpowered by Maya. These self-made gods cannot answer all these questions very clearly. They are simply satisfied to have become God themselves.
Yeah. So this is a third category of educated fools. First category is avidya wale people, modern day educators. Second category is Vedavadarata. And the third category is Maya Apahirta. And they are Mayavadis, basically. Actually, in Mayavadis also there are two categories. Brahmavadis are mentioned in 12.4 to 6, 4, 5, 6 if you see. They are actually people who are better than the Mayavadis. Because the Brahmavadis eventually will attain the Lord over a period of time. But the Mayavadis are mentioned in 7.24, kind of, or 9.11 and all. So they are offenders of the Lord. So they are another category, the third category, Maya Apahirta, and their knowledge is stolen away by illusion. So in this way, this verse especially talks about those who are, in the name of education, those who are cheating the masses and drowning the world in suffering, unfortunately. Therefore, Prabhupada is called Nirvishesha, Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatharani. So we have a very great duty to fulfill that Prabhupada's name of eradicating such ignorance going on in the name of education and establishing the true wisdom of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, what is culture of knowledge and what is culture of nescience? It has to be clearly known. The flowchart we will see next time. Then we proceed with further. Shri Prabhupada ki, Bhakta ki.
Hare Krishna devotees. So we'll stop here. We'll meet next week. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Isopanishad ki jai, Sai
जय
Gaur Premanande, Hare
हरि
Krishna.
हरि बोल